Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Rupinder Kaur Chawla with the Midday News. The headlines. India on the path to become a powerhouse, driving global growth by 2047, says the Union Minister Piyush Goyal. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says, despite the challenges posed by the Ukraine crisis, India will be the fastest growing major economy in the world this year. Mastermind of the racket incorporating shell companies with Chinese links in India arrested. Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena gives not to transfer the investigation of alleged corruption in DTC buses procurement to the CBI. Joint Entrance Examination Advanced 2022 results declared. Two-day National Defence Msme Conclave and exhibition begins in Kota, Rajasthan. India enters the semi-finals of the SAFF Women's Championship, defeating Maldives in Kathmandu. And in the US Open Tennis, world number 1 Iga Swiatek wins the women's singles title. Men's singles final between Spain's Carlos Alcaraz and Norwegian Casper Ruud late tonight. And now the news in detail. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India is on the path to become a powerhouse, driving global growth by 2047. He said this while interacting with the business community of Southern California. Mr. Goyal added that the transformational work happening in India has taken the country to the 5th spot among the world economies. He mentioned that CII estimates India in 2047 to be a $35 to $45 trillion economy, taking it into the league of developed nations. The Commerce Minister said conclusion of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework is an important milestone for free and fair trade with like-minded countries. He said they share a common objective to have rule-based international order and a transparent economic system. He also said that politically stable and open economies in the Indo-Pacific are coming together to expand economic activities among each other. Mr. Goyal emphasized that India is rapidly transitioning to clean energy, adding that country aspires to achieve 500 gigawatt of green energy capacity by 2030. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has signed an MOU with the Secretary General of Gulf Cooperation Council, Naif Fala Mubarak Al-Hazraf, on the mechanism of consultations between India and the GCC. Dr. Jaishankar also held a bilateral meeting with Mr. Naif and discussed the relevance of India-GCC cooperation in context with the current regional and global situation. The External Affairs Minister, who reached Saudi Arabia on his two-day visit yesterday, addressed the Indian diaspora in Riyadh. He highlighted India's powerful efforts to actually grow its economy and move towards becoming a higher-income country. Dr. Jaishankar noted that despite the challenges posed by the Ukraine crisis, India is confident that it will be the fastest growing major economy in the world this year with at least 7% growth. Dr. Jaishankar will co-chair the inaugural ministerial meeting of the Committee on Political, Security, Social and Cultural Cooperation with his Saudi counterpart, Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud.
The mastermind of the whole racket of incorporating large number of shell companies with Chinese links in India and providing dummy directors on the boards has been arrested. Corporate Affairs Ministry said the Serious Fraud Investigation Office arrested the mastermind Dortse yesterday. Dortse is on the board of Jillian India Limited. As per the records filed with the Registrar of Companies, the arrested person had shown himself to be a resident of Mandi in Himachal Pradesh. The ministry said evidence procured during the inquiry by Registrar of Companies Delhi and the simultaneous search operations clearly points to dummy directors being paid by Jillian India Limited to act as dummies in several shell companies. It said boxes filled with the company seals and digital signatures of dummy directors have been recovered from the site. The Indian employees were in touch with the Chinese counterparts through a Chinese instant messaging app. Hussiz Limited was also found to be acting on behalf of Jillian India Limited. The ministry said initial observations revealed that Hussiz Limited had a pact with Jillian Hong Kong Limited. Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena has cleared a proposal to forward to CBI a complaint over alleged corruption in the procurement of 1,000 low-floor buses by the Delhi Transport Corporation (DTC). Official sources confirmed it, saying a complaint was received by the LG Secretariat in the matter of alleged gross irregularities in the procurement of low-floor buses. A complaint was made to the LG that the appointment of Delhi Transport Minister as the chairman of Committee for Tendering and Procurement of Buses by Delhi Transport Corporation was done in a premeditated manner. It was also alleged that the appointment was done with an aim to facilitate wrongdoing. The complaint was forwarded to the Chief Secretary to seek comments from the departments of the Delhi government. In the report, the Chief Secretary had pointed out certain irregularities. Following this, the LG has sent the complaint to CBI. Talking exclusively to AIR, Delhi BJP MLA Vijendra Gupta has welcomed the decision, saying that it is a big scam. He said the investigation will reveal the whole truth.
अभी जो तथ्य सामने आए हैं नए और जिस तरह से 2018 से एक ही बस कंपनी के साथ घालमेल करके इस सरकार के मंत्री कैलाश गहलोत और अंतोगत्वा पकड़ा गया पूरा मामला और पकड़े जाने के बाद इन्होंने जिसके बस की खरीद का जब पोल खुल गई तो वर्क ऑर्डर को अबेंस में डाल दिया और कह दिया कि अभी हमने तो बस ली नहीं है, तो घोटाला किया है। सवाल तो ये है कि जब आपने वर्क ऑर्डर दिया था जनवरी में तभी आपने मोटी रिश्वत उसके बदले में ले ली। एक कुल मिलाकर के एक बहुत बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार का मामला है। उपराज्यपाल महोदय के फैसले का मैं स्वागत करता हूं। उन्होंने जो ये मामला सीबीआई को सौंप दिया है, मैं पूरे मामले का कंप्लेंट रहा हूं। जो प्राथमिकी दर्ज हुई उसमें भी मेरी कंप्लेंट थी और अभी जो नया मामला सामने आया है, नई कंप्लेंट जो आई है, वो भी जो शिकायत करता है उन्होंने वही तथ्यों का इस्तेमाल किया है जो उससे पहले हमने दिए थे। तो कुल मिलाकर के मैं कह सकता हूं कि आम आदमी पार्टी के एक और मंत्री भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त पकड़े गए हैं और उनके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
The Enforcement Directorate has seized 17.32 crore rupees in cash after it raided the promoters of a Kolkata-based mobile gaming app company. The agency is investigating the possible routing of the funds spent by the gullible gamers in Kolkata through some Chinese-controlled entities. The ED said its searches were conducted at half a dozen locations linked to the gaming app named E-Nuggets and its promoter Amir Khan and others. Last month, the ED had seized cash worth about 50 crore rupees along with jewellery and gold after it raided premises linked to Arpita Mukherjee and alleged aid of the former West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has ordered the suspension of 15 officers of 4 different departments and action against 4 retired officers in connection with fire at a Lucknow hotel a few days back. His order came a day after a 2-member probe panel submitted its report to the State Home Department. The officers against whom action will be taken are from the Departments of Home, Energy, Appointment, Housing and Urban Planning, Lucknow Development Authority and Excise.
President Draupadi Murmu has nominated Ghulam Ali, a Gujjar Muslim from Jammu and Kashmir, to the Rajya Sabha. Mr. Ali has been nominated to Upper House on the recommendation of central government. This is perhaps for the first time a Gujjar Muslim from the region has been sent to the Rajya Sabha as a nominated member. BJP's IT cell head Amit Malviya lauded the appointment, calling it a significant step as it gives recognition to the Gujjar community living in the Kashmir Valley. He said prior to abrogation of Article 370, the community was literally not recognized and all social benefits were denied to them. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Liz Truss on assuming the office of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. In a telephonic conversation, both the leaders committed to further strengthening the comprehensive strategic partnership between India and the UK. They discussed various issues of bilateral interest, including progress in the implementation of the Roadmap 2030, ongoing free trade agreement negotiations, defence and security cooperation. On behalf of the people of India, Mr. Modi conveyed deep condolences to the royal family and the people of the UK on the demise of Queen Elizabeth II.
The state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II will take place at Westminster Abbey on September 19th. A statement by the UK royal family has said that prior to the funeral, the Queen will lie in state in Westminster Hall for 4 days to allow the public to pay their respects. On the other hand, King Charles III has been formally proclaimed as the monarch of UK at St. James Palace. He is now the head of the state and with seamless and symbolic transfer from one reign to the next with oaths and signatures.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India on the path to become a powerhouse, driving global growth by 2047, says Union Minister Piyush Goyal. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says, despite the challenges posed by the Ukraine crisis, India will be the fastest growing major economy in the world this year. Mastermind of the racket incorporating shell companies with the Chinese links in India arrested. Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena gives nod to transfer the investigation of alleged corruption in DTC buses procurement to the CBI. Joint Entrance Examination Advanced 2022 results declared. Two-day National Defence Msme Conclave and exhibition begins in Kota, Rajasthan. India enters semi-finals of SAFF Women's Championship, defeating Maldives in Kathmandu. And in US Open Tennis, world number 1 Iga Swiatek wins women's singles title, men's singles final between Spain's Carlos Alcaraz and Norwegian Casper Ruud late tonight. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के पथ भाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
आकाशवाणी आपके लिए लेकर आया है कार्यक्रम एक कदम और बुजुर्गों के लिए, हर रविवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। रविवार 11 सितंबर को प्रसारित होने वाले अंक का विषय है बुजुर्ग और शिक्षा।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the Midday News on All India Radio. Joint Entrance Examination JEE Advanced 2022 results have been declared. R.K. Shishir is the top ranker in the common rank list, while Tanishka Kabra is the female topper. A total of 40,712 candidates have qualified the JEE Advanced this year. Of the total qualified, 6,516 candidates are females. The JEE Advanced is for admission to undergraduate courses at the Indian Institutes of Technology and other participating institutions of technical education. Abhijit Anand, who attained 15th rank in All India rankings, shared his mantra of success with the listeners of All India Radio.
I have secured AIR 15 in JEE Advanced 2022 examination. I am Bihar topper as well as Guwahati zone topper. I was motivated by my elder brothers because they are also doing very good. So I started my preparation in class 11th from Kota, Rajasthan. But I studied online only because due to COVID-19 obviously. And I want to say to my juniors that we should also listen to their teachers always, because they are more experienced and they have more knowledge than you. And always follow your teachers and be regular always. Always study. Try to study 8 to 9 hours daily. Always be regular.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the International Dairy Federation World Dairy Summit 2022 being organized at the India Expo Centre and Mart, Greater Noida tomorrow morning. The 4-day-long World Dairy Summit on the theme Dairy for Nutrition and Livelihood will be held till 15th of September. It is a congregation of global and Indian dairy stakeholders, including industry leaders, experts, farmers and policy planners. Around 1,500 participants from 50 countries are expected to participate in the summit. The last such summit was held in India about half a century ago in 1974. The Indian dairy industry is unique in the sense that it is based on a cooperative model that empowers small and marginal dairy farmers, especially women.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the Cheetah Reintroduction project on the 17th of this month. Disclosing this at the inaugural meeting of the National Conference for the Zoo Directors being held in Odisha capital Bhubaneswar. The Union Minister for the Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, said that cheetah will be brought from Namibia for the purpose. More from a correspondent.
Stating that this is for the first time that the cheetah is being reintroduced after its disappearance from India in the 1950s, the minister emphasized on the need to connect the younger generation with the world of the wild animals. calling upon the Jew authorities to make the Jews a place of educating people about the wild animals. The minister said that the Jews serve in adding to the enjoyment of the people, particularly of the low and middle income strata of our society. He added that the Jews are also a kind of stress buster as a side product, and this needs to be recognized. Girish Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The two-day National Defence Msme Conclave and exhibition began in Kota, Rajasthan today. Defence equipment including T-90 and BMP-2 tanks, artillery guns, various types of sniper and machine guns, military bridges are being displayed in the exhibition. Youth innovating in the defence sector, startups and MSMEs are also displaying their products. More than 50 companies, startups and MSMEs working in the defence sector are participating in the event. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and Minister of State for Defence Ajay Bhatt will formally inaugurate the conclave tomorrow. The drone light show and the live concert will be the highlight of the program. Defence Conclave and exhibition is being organized for the first time in Rajasthan.
Union Minister Anurag Thakur today addressed meeting of BJP Lok Sabha Core Committee in Dombivli near Mumbai. He is on a 3-day visit to review party's position in Kalyan parliamentary constituency. He is also scheduled to address party workers in Dombivli. He was welcomed by local leaders and party workers at various places in the constituency. Mr. Thakur arrived in Mumbai last night. Addressing media, he expressed the confidence that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, NDA will return to power in 2024 with more seats than 2019. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today recalled Swami Vivekananda's iconic speech at Chicago in 1893. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said his address gave the world a glimpse of India's culture and ethos. He said it was on this day in 1893 that Swami Vivekananda delivered one of his most outstanding speeches in Chicago. The Prime Minister today remembered Acharya Vinoba Bhave on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, he said Acharya Vinoba Bhave's life was a manifestation of Gandhian principles. Mr. Modi said Acharya was passionate about social empowerment and gave the clarion call of Jai Jagat. Prime Minister said, "We are inspired by his ideals and are committed to realizing his dreams for the nation."
Former Central Minister and senior film actor U. Krishnam Raju passed away this morning in Hyderabad. He was 82. Born at Mugaltur of the then West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh, Raju joined BJP in 1990s and elected to 12th and 13th Lok Sabha from Kakinada and Narsapuram constituencies. He served as Minister of State for External Affairs in the Vajpayee government. His last rites will be performed tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the passing away of U.V. Krishnam Raju. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "The coming generations will remember his cinematic brilliance and creativity." He said Krishnam Raju Garu was also at the forefront of community service and made a mark as a political leader. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we'll bring you the story of White Revolution in India, which transformed it into the world's largest milk producer country.
The White Revolution, also known as Operation Flood, was launched in 1970s to make the country self-dependent in milk production. Dr. Verghese Kurian started the Operation Flood program, which ushered the White Revolution in India. Anand, a small town in Gujarat, was transformed into a milk bowl of India. The huge success of the Anand model got huge appreciation and culminated in the creation of the National Dairy Development Board in 1965 with Dr. Kurian as its founder chairman. The then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri asked Dr. Kurian to replicate the Anand model throughout the country.
Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri, when he was the Prime Minister, came to Anand and informed us that, I went and stayed in a village because I know this dairy is a great success. Your trade name is very famous. You are growing every year. As against 100 dairies owned by government. All are incurring losses. So I wanted to come to Anand to study what is the reason for the success of Amul. So I told the Prime Minister, sir, the secret is very simple. This dairy is owned by farmers. It is managed by elected board of directors, elected by the farmers. In their wisdom, they have understood that to run a dairy, you need professional management. So they have appointed me as the chief executive of this cooperative. And I have been left free to build up my team. And so it is a business which is commanded by farmers. And we all of us are responsible to the board for our jobs.
Dr. Kurian, over years, revolutionized the production, procurement and marketing of milk and other farm produce in India through cooperative institutional setup, and India could achieve the coveted position as the #1 milk producer in the world.
Cooperatives should be formed not because it is included in the 5-year plan, but because there is a need for it. Because that is the only structure that will transfer to the farmer the largest share of the consumer's rupee without any middlemen owning the processing plant. That is why dairying is tailor-made for the cooperatives.
Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab and Haryana are the major milk-producing states in the country. Addressing a gathering at Deodar in Banaskantha district of Gujarat on 19th April 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India produces milk worth 8.5 lakh crore rupees annually, more than the turnover of wheat and rice, and highlighted that small farmers are the biggest beneficiaries of the dairy sector.
बनास डेयरी ने ये भी सिद्ध किया है कि स्थानीय किसानों की आय बढ़ाने के लिए दूसरे संसाधनों का भी उपयोग किया जा सकता है। दूध, छाछ, दही, पनीर, आइसक्रीम के साथ ही आलू टिक्की, आलू वेज, फ्रेंच फ्राइज, हैश ब्राउन, बर्गर पेटीज जैसे उत्पादों को भी बनास डेयरी ने किसानों का सामर्थ्य बना दिया है। ये भारत के लोकल को ग्लोबल बनाने की दिशा में भी एक अच्छा कदम है। इस प्रकार के प्रयास निश्चित रूप से हमारी ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था मजबूत होगी, गांव मजबूत होंगे, हमारी बहनें, बेटियां सशक्त होगी।
All India Radio's dedicated programs on animal husbandry and dairy farming encourage farmers to adopt modernized dairy farming techniques alongside mainstream agricultural activities to augment their incomes. Programs covering provisions of government's National Animal Disease Control Program, launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, disseminate information to farmers for livestock health care, financial incentives available to them under Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund to boost productivity.
All India Radio's dedicated programs on animal husbandry and dairy farming encourage farmers to adopt modernized dairy farming techniques alongside mainstream agricultural activities to augment their incomes. Programs covering provisions of government's National Animal Disease Control Program, launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, disseminate information to farmers for livestock health care, financial incentives available to them under Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund to boost productivity.
Today is the 21st Remembrance Day of those who died in the 9/11 attacks in the United States. On September 11, 2001, 19 Al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airplanes scheduled to fly from the East Coast to California. In a coordinated attack, the terrorists intentionally flew 2 of the planes into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, causing the towers to collapse. They also flew a 3rd plane into the Pentagon, the headquarters of the U.S. State Department of Defense in Arlington, Virginia. Passengers and crew members on the 4th plane launched a counterattack, forcing the hijacker pilot who was flying the airplane towards Washington, D.C. to crash the plane into a field. The attacks killed 2,977 people. This was the single largest loss of life resulting from a foreign attack on American soil. France, Britain and Germany have said that they had serious doubts about Iran's intentions to revive a nuclear deal. The diplomats of the 3 countries said on Saturday that Iran's response to the EU coordinator was a step backward. However, these comments were rejected by Tehran. Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani said the statement was unconstructive. He further said that the three European countries are advised to play a more active role in providing solutions to end the few disagreements that remain. On the other hand, the International Atomic Energy Agency IAEA's Board of Governors is to meet on Monday, 3 months after adopting a resolution urging Iran to give credible answers to the watchdog on the issue.
In New Zealand, at least 5 people were killed when a boat carrying 11 people capsized near the South Island town of Kaikoura today. Mayor of Kaikoura confirmed that 6 people have been rescued. The mayor said the water appeared calm and the assumption was that a whale had surfaced from under the boat, overturning it. However, police did not confirm the cause. The police in a statement said that the exact circumstances surrounding the incident will be subject to an investigation. In football, defending champions India qualified for the semi-finals of the SAF Women's Championship 2022 with a massive 9-0 win over the Maldives in the second match of the tournament at Dashrath Rangashara Stadium in Kathmandu yesterday. Anju Tamang was the star of the show, netting 4 goals as Dangmei Grace scored 2. After this win, India now has 6 points from 2 matches. 5-time champions India will next face Bangladesh in their last group stage match on Tuesday.
In the US Open tennis, world number 1 Iga Swiatek has won the women's singles final. She defeated Tunisia's Ons Jabeur 6-2, 7-6 in the summit clash in New York late last night. Swiatek is the first Polish woman to win the US Open. It is her 10th career title and the 3rd Grand Slam. The men's singles finals will be played tonight between Carlos Alcaraz of Spain and Norwegian tennis star Casper Ruud. This high-stakes match will not only crown a first-time Grand Slam champion but also a new world number 1. In the mixed doubles, Storm Sanders and John Pearce defeated Kirsten Flipkens and Edouard Roger Vasselin for 6-6-4, 10-7 to win the title. They are also the first Australian duo in 21 years to win the US Open mixed doubles title. Women's doubles final will be a showdown between the United States and the Czech Republic as Katie McNally and Taylor Townsend face Barbora Krejcikova and Katerina Siniakova tonight in Arthur Ashe Stadium. And in the Durand Cup quarterfinals, Chennai FC will face Mumbai City FC at the Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata at 6 p.m. this evening. After a draw and a loss in their first 2 games, Chennai made a strong comeback in the tournament, beating Trau FC and Neroka FC to finish second in the group. Former Indian Super League champion Mumbai City has topped its group and qualified for the last 8 stage. Yesterday, Bengaluru FC defeated Odisha FC by 2-1 in the second quarterfinal at the Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata. Earlier, Mohammedan SC had defeated Kerala Blasters FC 3-0 in the first quarterfinal on Friday at Kolkata.
In the title clash of the Asia Cup T20 International Tournament, Sri Lanka will lock horns with Pakistan at Dubai International Cricket Stadium this evening. The match will start at 7:30 p.m. Indian time. Lankans will look to earn their 6th Asia Cup title, while Pakistan will strive to end the long title drought. Both teams have squared off against each other in Asia Cup finals thrice, with the Islanders emerging twice as winners in 1986 and 2014. Pakistan won in 2000.
And now let us have a look at the weather forecast for the day. The national capital Delhi is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature recorded was 27 degrees Celsius. The maximum will be around 36 degrees. Mumbai is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees and the maximum will be around 33 degrees. Chennai is expected to have cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Visakhapatnam will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. And in the northeast, Guwahati, Imphal, Itanagar, Shillong, Kohima, Gangtok and Aizawl will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India on the path to become a powerhouse driving global growth by 2047, says the Union Minister Piyush Goyal. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says despite the challenges posed by the Ukraine crisis, India will be the fastest growing major economy in the world this year. Mastermind of the racket incorporating shell companies with Chinese links in India arrested. Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena gives nod to transfer the investigation of the alleged corruption in DTC bus procurement to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Joint Entrance Examination Advanced 2022 results declared. Two-day National Defence Msme Conclave and exhibition begins in Kota, Rajasthan. India enters the semi-finals of the SAFF Women's Championship, defeating Maldives in Kathmandu. And in the US Open Tennis, world number 1 Iga Swiatek wins the women's singles title. Men's singles final between Spain's Carlos Alcaraz and Norwegian Casper Ruud late tonight. And with that, we end the midday news.